Goblet squats, a great variation of the squat pattern for both beginners and advanced athletes. When you do your goblet squats, you can use a multitude of equipment. You can use a barbell, easy bar, kettlebell, deadlift. You can even use a slam ball if you want. Today, I'm going to show you how to do the goblet squat using a dumbbell. For the goblet position, the first thing that we want to focus on is the setup of your feet, okay? So I'm going to place this dumbbell on the ground just for a moment, making sure that I get my foot placement in order. I'm going to have my feet slightly outside of hip alignment. I'm going to turn my toes about 45 degrees as well. The reason being is when I go into my squat, I want to avoid my hips caving in and my knees collapsing, okay? So I'm going to keep external pressure pushing through the heels and splitting the ground in half. That's the first component. Second component is the hold. When you grab that kettlebell or that dumbbell, we're going to make sure that our elbows are in nice and tight, keeping the weight right underneath our chin. For the dumbbell, I'm going to open up my palms and hold it in an hourglass position, okay? So once you get set up in your goblet position, palms up to the ceiling, once again, keeping the weight underneath the chin, you're going to focus on keeping your chest up tall and your butt low. I'm going to drive through the heels, extend my glutes, maximize contraction at the top. First thing here, pushing the butt back, bending those knees, chest up nice and tall, drive through the heels, squeeze the glutes, all right? Watch my knees as I create external pressure, pushing them outward, making sure that they are not collapsing as I perform that squat position. Slight pelvic tilt at the top, squeezing the glutes, making sure that you're getting maximum depth on that squat. Once you're done with your reps, safely place the weight down, bend those knees, and that's a goblet squat. Now, when performing your goblet squats, there are a couple things that you want to pay close attention to. I already mentioned your foot placement, turning the toes slightly outward so that you're avoiding your knees collapsing and your hips pivoting in, okay? So as I'm performing that squat, I'm keeping external pressure on my feet, splitting the ground in half. I also want to make sure that I'm able to get maximum depth, keeping the chest up tall and the butt low. When I drive through the heels, I want to make sure they're nice and flat, and I want to get vertical as soon as possible with a nice pelvic tilt. As you're performing that movement, here are some signs that let you know you need to reduce your weight or you need to start at a body weight squat instead of with that goblet position. Now, when I go into position, if my first movement is my heels are popping off of the ground, let me go ahead and move this dumbbell so you can see my feet. If your first movement is your heels popping off of the ground, okay, that lets you know that you should lighten up that weight, reduce it here, okay? The second thing that you want to pay attention to is as you're going into that squat, if you're not able to get as low as possible without discomfort, then that means that that weight is probably too challenging for you, okay? If I'm able to get depth and get nice and low, but on my drive phase, my butt is the first thing that comes out and my torso leans forward, it must mean that that weight is too heavy for you, okay? So always remember, never sacrifice form for a heavier weight. Reduce your weight, get comfortable with the complete form, work on your cues, and then continue to add weight gradually as you feel comfortable.